Hello everyone, good morning. Today we're going to discuss about Hyper-V. Okay, please mute yourself, guys. Okay, Hyper-V. So what is Hyper-V? Before getting into Hyper-V, let's discuss about hypervisors. Please mute yourself, guys. Before getting into Hyper-V, let's discuss about hypervisors. So what is hypervisor? Hypervisor. What is hypervisor? Did anyone know what is hypervisor? What is hypervisor? Hypervisor is a virtualization. Hypervisor is a virtualization, hardware virtualization. Hypervisor is a hardware virtualization. So there are three types of hypervisors. There are hypervisors. Uh, there are two types of hypervisor. Sorry, hypervisor type 1, hypervisor type 1 hypervisor, hypervisors. One second. Type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor. Hypervisor is a hardware virtualization. Hardware virtualization. So what is the hardware virtualization? How it helps to us in the real time? Okay. So for example, usually we bought a mission. Let's take my mission or any physical mission. This is the physical mission. Physical mission. This is physical mission. So in this physical mission, I can install operating system. Okay. On the operating system, I can host applications. I can host applications, services, applications and services. This is how. So if I want to host more applications, more services, so we may not deploy more application services because this physical machine having less configuration, like this is 4 GB RAM, okay, and 100 GB hard disk, HDD hard disk 100 GB, okay, and RAM like like RAM, let's 8 GB, since it is a server having more RAM, and CPUs. This is six CPUs. So this is a hardware configuration of this physical machine. So in this physical machine, I can install operating system, application services. So if I want to install more apps, more services, then again I need to purchase a physical machine like this, right? Okay. So this is physical machine 2. Okay. Physical machine 2. Again, same configuration. Again, and hosted applications. Okay. So on, we need to increase the physical missions. So if we increase physical missions, we need a more power, a cooling system, and server state environment like data center or a server room. So if we are increasing the infrastructure, our maintenance will be increased. Like, if we are increasing furniture in the house, obviously maintenance will be increased. TV, fridge, washing machine. So if you're increasing the electronic infrastructure, you will get a more maintenance, right? So to clean up that, to maintain the all the infrastructure. Moreover, the companies keep on buying the infrastructure, right? So instead of increasing the physical missions, hypervisor, hardware virtualization. What is the hypervisor? Hypervisor is a what hardware virtualization. So this hardware virtualization provides virtual machines with a direct access to the virtual virtual server's hardware. Okay, so instead of keep on buying physical machine, and once the physical machine means exhausted with the applications, again we are buying a new physical machines and installing application services in that. So instead of buying one, so I'll buy one high-end physical machine, high-end physical machine. Okay, high-end physical machine. In that, in this virtual machine, I will install hypervisor, any hypervisor. I'll tell you what are the hypervisors in the market. Okay, hypervisor. I will install hypervisor. Okay, so using this hypervisor, I can create more virtual machines. I can create more virtual machines. Here, I can create virtual machines. But how these virtual machines will get hardware configuration? So whatever the physical virtual machines having the hardware configuration, this hardware configuration shares to this virtual machines. This virtual machines. See, here I have a one physical machine, but that one physical machine I can split into three virtual machines. Three virtual machines. Three virtual machines. See, so on I can increase, I can increase many virtual machines. So until unless this hardware configuration supports, so I can create more virtual machines. So each virtual machine I can install applications. I can deploy applications here in this virtual machine. And this virtual machine, I can create database server, and this file server, so on. See, each virtual machine I'm using in a different purpose. But if you use physical machines, then for applications you need one physical machine. For database server you need one physical machine. For file server you need one physical machine. So how many servers you want? You need to buy those many physical machines. Okay, using the hypervisor, you no need to buy a physical machines more. You buy a physical machines with a high-end configuration, and in you can split the physical machine. Split means not breaking the physical machine. I mean, we can create multiple virtual machines on the physical machine, and each virtual machine you can use for different purposes. So this is a revolution. So help using the hypervisor, the company company expenditure, company revenue, expenditure revenues got reduced. So company with a less amount, companies maintaining the infrastructure. So you can create n number of virtual machines until this hardware configuration support. This is called hypervisor. Hypervisor is nothing but hardware virtualization. Hypervisor provides hardware virtualizations. So one mission can make a multiple missions. That is called hardware virtualization. Okay. So here we have in the market type 1 hypervisors, type 2 hypervisors. So what is type 1 hypervisor? So type 1 hypervisors are using for production environment. Type 1 hypervisors using one second. Type 1 hypervisors are using in the production environment. Okay. Type 1 hypervisors using in a production environment. In the production environment. So this type 1 hypervisors uses in a production environment. Okay. And type 2 hypervisors. Visors using in dev and testing purpose. Testing purpose. Testing purpose. So type 1 hypervisors used in production using for production environment. Using in production environment. And type 2 hypervisors using in dev environment and testing QA environment and for testing purpose. Okay. So what are the type 1 hypervisors then? What are the type 1 hypervisors in the market? Type 1 hypervisors in the market. So one is Hyper-V. Hyper-V is the type 1 hypervisor. Okay. Who developed this? Microsoft. Microsoft developed this. Next, VMware. This is VMware. vSphere. vSphere. Who developed this? VMware. vSphere. vSphere is a type 1 hypervisor developed by VMware company. Microsoft company. Okay. And next, Gen server. Who developed this? Citrix company. Citrix company developed Gen server. This is type 2 hypervisor. Sorry, type 1 hypervisor. Gen server. Okay. So these are the hypervisor name and company name. company name. Okay. These are the companies. Now, coming to these are the type 1 hypervisors. Coming to type 2 hypervisors. Type 2 hypervisors. So what are the type 2 hypervisors in the market? Type 2 hypervisors are here virtual PC. Virtual PC developed by Microsoft. And this one this one workstation VMware company. And there is no type 2 hypervisors for Citrix. Here Oracle Virtual Box. Oracle VirtualBox Oracle. So these are the type 2 hypervisors in the market. So this is VMware Workstation. These are the type 2 hypervisors using in development, testing, internal purpose. So I'm using type 2 hypervisor. This is VMware Workstation. VMware Workstation from VMware company. These are the type 2 hypervisors. So using this type 2 hypervisors, see in one machine, this is my physical machine. In one machine, I'm creating a lot of virtual machines. And each virtual machines I'm using for different purposes. See, this is what hypervisor. Are you clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So Hyper-V is a hardware virtualization role is that is available in Windows servers. So Hyper-V earlier, it is a separate software earlier, but since few years, the Microsoft included this Hyper-V in the every Windows server operating systems. In every Windows server operating systems. So you no need to buy, but other hypervisors you need to buy, like VMware, vSphere, or a Gen server you need to buy. But if you buy an operating system, along with the operating system, you will get Hyper-V. You no need to buy. Microsoft giving for free along with the operating system. So you no need to buy hypervisor. So hardware virtualization provides virtual machines with a direct access to the virtualization server's hardware. This is in a contrast to software virtualization products such as Microsoft Virtual Server 2005 R2 that uses virtualization server's operating system to provide indirect access to the server's hardware. See, there is a Microsoft Virtual Server. So this is not like a Hyper-V. This is a different. This is a software. It is a different virtualization. It's a software virtualization. Okay. Hardware virtualization is Hyper-V. Okay. Type 1 hypervisors, also called a bare metal virtualization. Hypervisor is directly installed on the hardware. Robust, scalable, used in the production environment. Okay. So company hypervisor name, company. Microsoft Hyper-V, VMware company, vSphere, Citrix Gen server. These are the type 1 hypervisors. Type 2 hypervisors, hosted virtualization, slow, testing and lab. So these type 2 hypervisors only for testing and lab and dev purpose. Development teams usually can use this. So companies, Microsoft Virtual PC, VMware Workstation, Oracle VirtualBox. Okay. So hardware requirements, usually hardware requirements is need more hardware requirement, especially minimum hardware requirements are server must have a 64-bit of hardware, not 32-bit. 64-bit hardware is required. I mean, 64 platforms should support the hardware. 64-bit hardware means should support 64-bit operating systems, 64-bit applications, softwares. Okay. Assisted virtualization, data execution prevention. The server must have enough CPU capacity to meet the requirements of the guest virtual machines. Virtual machines hosted on Hyper-V in Windows Server 2012 to 2022 in any operating system we can install, can support up to 64 virtual processors. Okay, this is a hardware requirement. So coming to virtual machines have followed simulated hardware. See, if you observe here, go to settings. For this machine, do we have physical RAM? No, this is a virtual RAM. Taking this 4 GB from physical RAM. Processor, is this physical processor? No, it is taking from physical processor. So the, as I said here, this hardware shared by the multiple virtual machines. Same hardware using multiple virtual machines. Everything was simulated. BIOS simulated, memory simulated, processor is simulated, everything is simulated. There is no physical thing in the virtual machines. No physical thing. Everything is taking from the physical machine. So simulated. These are all simulations, not real ones. Simulation ones and virtual ones. All virtual ones. But these are these 4 GB size taken from physical RAM. Likewise, processor, hard disk. See here, do we have CD DVD drive here? Any physical CD? No. It is virtually, it acts as a DVD drive. It's not a physical DVD drive. It's a virtual DVD drive. It works, but physically not exist. That is what. So this is called Hyper-V. Hyper-V is nothing but hypervisor. What is Hyper-V? It is a hypervisor. Hyper-V. Hyper-V. Sorry. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So now let's install Hyper-V in the Windows server. Okay. Did you understand what is hypervisor? Hypervisor is a Hyper-V is a hypervisor. It's a hardware virtualization. How we are using here. This is a VMware workstation type 2 hypervisor I'm using. So here, let me install hypervisor here. So, but in the real time, no one install Hyper-V in domain controller. The different servers we install Hyper-V, but due to lab and we have less infrastructure, so I'm installing in DC itself. Okay. But in the real time, only DC means only Active Directory, nothing else. In real time, we don't install any other services in DC. Only DC means DC only. DC means DC. So here, click Add Roles and Features. Click Next. Click Next. Click Next. Hyper-V. Add. See, it is error. Validation process found because this is also a hypervisor. In this hypervisor, I'm installing one more hypervisor. This is type 2 hypervisor. In the type 2 hypervisor, I've created a virtual machine called a DC. So in the DC, I'm trying to install here. So we need to do some settings. Otherwise, we cannot install. Shut down. Let's shut down this machine. So this is a troubleshooting steps we need to perform. Close, close this. So first we need to add this to virtual machines. Okay. Uh, Sorry, I closed this. Open it. Open the VMware workstation. Right click on it. Go to path of this. Open VMware directory. See, this is DC VMware directory. So here DC files are storing here. Here you need to open this file, VMX file. See, need to, sorry, VMX file. So copy this, copy these 4 lines, open VMX file into Notepad++ or Notepad, your Notepad. Okay, go down and paste. Okay, close, save, done. So after that, go to processor in the virtual settings. Need to enable virtual engine settings in virtual machine setting. So this two. Go to here, DC, edit. What is first? Need to enable virtualization engine setting in virtual machine. Click processor. See, virtualization, this one, this one. See, this one. And virtualize CPU performance counter. Select this. Okay. Okay. Now run. So I'm starting this. And then need to run this. It is running. Okay. So then we need to run this 3 commands in the command prompt, okay, or a PowerShell. One moment. This 28. One. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is the one. You need to run this PowerShell and okay. One second. This is wrong. These 2 commands in command prompt and this command in PowerShell. Save. Yeah. Now go to server and login. So go to command prompt and run these 2. So command, right click on it, run as administrator. Close this, run this. Enter. Okay. And next, this one. Copy, enter. Okay, that's fine. And next, this is in PowerShell. Right click on it, run as, paste here, enter. Okay. If it is throwing error, it's also fine. Let's now go to add roles and program. Sorry, add roles and features. Click next, click next, click next, click Hyper-V, add feature. Now it is not getting error. See, before we got error, now we are not getting error because we need to, we made these changes. So save, do this, okay? Either you do first run this and you can follow the steps. Either way, you need to make these changes. Then only you can install Hyper-V in virtual machine. Click next, click next, click next, select this, click next, click next. See, hypervisor is going to install in this path. So do we have enough space here? Yeah, here we have a less space, I guess. Okay, I think 10 GB. Let's install here. I think here, okay, here free of 15 GB. Okay, here also 15 GB. Okay, let it install here. So, but you make sure when you install, you should install, you should have enough space in C drive. Click next. Restart if required. Install. So now I'm installing Hypervisor. So today, and configure one virtual machine on Hypervisor. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, good. So did I miss anything? Yeah. So this is the theory. You just read after the class and before you practice. Yeah. So we will discuss what is VHD, VHD access. We will discuss tomorrow. There is part 2 hypervisor class. Okay. We'll discuss all this pass-through disks, difference disk, virtual switch, and all we'll discuss tomorrow. Replication, Hyper-V replication, all tomorrow. So only today, installing hypervisor and creating a virtual machine in a hypervisor. Okay, yeah, installed and rebooted. It's rebooting itself. So did you understand the class, or do you have any doubts? I mean, if you don't understand any area, let me know so that I'll explain more. Anyway, we have time. And hypervisor is a biggest revolution. It's a biggest revolution. So earlier we used to buy many physical machines. Okay, for application server we need one server. For database server we need one server. For file server we need a one server. For domain controller we need a one server. For FTP server we need a fun. So for web server we need a virtual machines. So because we cannot host services in one machine, all the services in one machine. So for that reason, we used to buy a separate physical machines for a different purposes. But after coming hypervisor, it the cost got reduced a lot and less only purchasing of physical machines. So in one physical machine, we can create a number of virtual servers. See, for example, take our example. So this is a VMware workstation. In VMware workstation, how many servers I created here? See, any. So if I is it possible to buy a physical machine uh, to explain DC to for DC one virtual machine, for ADC one virtual machine, for everything? Can we buy a physical machines? No, right? Because of this hypervisor, we are able to create a multiple servers. That is the beauty of hypervisor. So in one mission, we can run multiple missions. In one physical mission, we can run multiple physical virtual missions. But this virtual missions also works like a physical mission. There is no issue, and most of even Azure, AWS cloud is completely running on the virtualization. Cloud is a virtualization. Azure cloud, AWS, Google cloud. So these cloud platforms are virtualization. Even they are virtualizing routers, firewalls, everything they are virtualizing. Everything they are virtualizing. And Microsoft Azure. See, Microsoft Azure using Hyper-V virtual hypervisor. Hyper-V. Microsoft Azure Cloud using Hyper-V. And I heard that vSphere, AWS using customized, I think vSphere, I guess. So these many cloud platforms using these hypervisors only to virtualize the hardware for hardware virtualization. Okay. And this is the theory part. Read this theory part. Okay. Step 1, like step 2 and step 3. Okay. Still rebooting. Are you guys practicing the classes? Everyday class you're practicing, or any pending classes?
Sir, practicing.
Yeah. Good. Good. Now log into go to tools. Okay. Let it. Okay. Close. Tools. Hyper-V Manager. Click here. Expand. This is the hypervisor, Hyper-V console. Okay. So here we can create a virtual machines. Right click on it. New virtual machine. Click next. Virtual machine name. Win 2012. I'm just giving Win 2012. Where to store the hyper. This virtual machine, where to store. Here, the virtual machine store in this place. If you want to change this place, you can change it if you want. Or you want to store the virtual machine in the same location, you can store in the same location. Okay. Click next. See here, generation 1, generation 2. Virtual machine generation provides the same virtual hardware to the virtual machines as a previous version of Hyper-V. Generation 2. This virtual machine generation provides supports for the features such as secure boot, SCSI boot, all. So take generation 1. Let's. Okay. And give 1024 MB means 1 GB. But generation 2 is the advanced virtual machine. Generation 1 is a not advanced virtual machine. So here less support, here more support. See, Windows Server running at least Windows Server 2012, 64-bit Windows 8. Here you can install Windows 7 and uh, older versions. Here you can install higher versions. So, but only for testing purpose. So let me take this. Okay. Click next. Computer networking. Select this. Select this network. Click next. Hard disk. So you need a hard disk, right? Not 128 GB hard disk. Let's say 15 GB hard disk. 15 GB hard disk. You can also give more, but our hardware doesn't support more. Okay. So you can give it more. Now, one moment. So first we need to check how much hardware. I mean, 1 second. Okay. 25. Okay. So 15. No, let's give 10 GB. Okay. Click next. Install operating system later or now. Okay. So you can install now or you can install later also. Okay. So let me install now itself. ISO. I want ISO image. Click here. Here we don't have ISO image. Let's copy ISO image from my system. Let me WinOS. Let me install. What is the size of this? Oh, 4.22 GB. Any Windows 7 operating system? Yeah, here. Okay, it's a less. Let me install this Windows 7. Copy the Windows ISO. Okay, go to copy to D drive. Copying to D drive. And let me delete this Win 2012. Click delete. This is not required. Win 2012. Yesterday we copied, so that is not required now. I'm just deleting. Okay. Now, so we need to select browse D here. Select ISO image. This is Windows 7 ISO image. Click next. Finish. So now we have created virtual machine. So in the virtual machine, we are installing Windows 7 operating system. Okay. Now right click on it. Now power on this virtual machine. Power on the virtual machine. Just start. And right click, connect. Now you can see this is the virtual machine. Yeah, it is starting. Just wait. See, press key. Now Windows 7 operating system will install in this virtual machine. No operating system was loaded. Press any key to. So maybe ISO image is not working. Okay, I'll do one thing. Let me copy Windows 2012 or let me copy Windows 8. How much size? 4 GB. Okay, copy. Oh, maybe 1 second. Just close this. Right click on it. Go to settings. remove this Windows 7. Mm, no, it is not responding. What happened? Power off, power on. Let me check any. Okay. Oh, yeah. Because generation 2 doesn't support Windows 7. Latest versions it support. We need to install Windows 8 or Windows 2012. So that we did mistake. Let me. This is what is how much GB? Okay, let's copy Windows 8. Is Windows 8 is working, which I gave you last time? I didn't check, test it.
It's not working.
Okay, then I'll use this Windows 8. That's what, but I never tested this. Okay, copy. My God, I did a mistake. I copied Windows 7. In Windows 7, generation 1 works in generation 1 virtual machine. Generation 2, it won't work generation 2. Let me. Is there any unnecessary? Nothing. No. Okay. Now Control Alt Del. Let me delete this. Shift delete. Okay. I'll do one thing. Empty recycle bin. Go to hypervisor. Okay. I'll do one thing. I will turn off. Now I can delete this. So let me copy here, Windows 8. Let it go. Okay. That is copy. Yeah. Now go to this virtual machine, go to settings, CD DVD drive. See here, browse, select this Windows 8. Okay. Now apply, save. Now right click on it, starting. Now right click on it, connect. Connecting. Yeah. Press any key to boot CD DVD. Yeah. Now Windows 8 is, we can install Windows 8. India. Where is India? No India. Okay, give US. Okay, US. Click next. Install. Now we are installing the operating system in virtual machine. So this is how we can create virtual machines in Hypervisor, Hyper-V. So what is this? Product key. We don't have any product key. We have product key in this. Okay. So that's how we can install the operating system in virtual machines. When it is asking product key, we don't have product key. Do you have product key?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So anyway, so we can install the operating system in the virtual machine. So that's all for today. Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Sorry. See you tomorrow.